Hello y'all, this is my old list that I ran 2 weeks ago. The video that I also made 2 weeks ago. Went over it already. But you know, first of all, I had a blast with this list. I used it during my league for majority of my games, and I just recently switched the list. This is because as a player, I always strive to just be a little better, and we could get rid of some redundancy in the list. First of all, we got rid of our Scout Sinnoh. Got rid of the Venture. I love 3 tanks, but we just had to get rid of it. And then we got rid of 1 Chimera. These are like this list was pretty good. These are the 3 things that I would get rid of, and we added 2 more things, or we added 3 more things really. Again, we added a new unit, a Tauros. I just got these guys, and they're beautiful, and we'll go over them right now. But we added 1 more Kasrkin. These guys are special. They're always welcome in my list because they have nice damage output, especially the Melta Mine order at the start of any phase, and their buckload of like plasma guns and melta guns. What really makes them stand out is the Tauros, and that's why 2 of them go in Tauroses. That's nice. We also added a Commissar, and that was it. But we're really let's go over what's really doing. Commissar, he's nice. He's an action monkey, and he denies deep striking in certain areas. So this road would have him, and my normal deep strike guys would deny this entire area, and so it's okay, now my entire backfield is good. And the Commissar's only 30 points to do that. If he needs to do a secondary or he'll just run onto point. Other than that, he's perfect right there on layout 6. Other than that, what's really nice with these guys are basically say this. Alright, serve the same purpose. Ooh, I have a little stutter there. But they just have so much movement. And it's just kind of a bit unreal. One of the things that since they're dedicated transport, they will share the scout sits that the Kasrkin have. And they move 12 inches instead of 10 like every guard vehicle. And I will usually have a Rogodorn to give a blue move. And so what's gonna happen is that they're gonna move. If you don't have any infiltrators, they're moving right here for scout sits, just flat. I go turn 1. Of course, if I didn't go turn 1, I would go turn 2. On this layout, I'll just pivot and then retreat here. I actually just learned that pivot team is 2 inches into 3, and I've been playing Television wrong like that for up until a few days ago, and I feel a little bit dumb that I never checked that. But I always told my opponents, "Oh, I'm pivoting for 3." Never corrected me once, but now I know, so we can hide it a little bit better here. Inch is really nice because that allows them to not stick out a tiny bit more. But again, we're moving from right here to 6 inches with the order that's coming from the Rogodorn tank commander here. We're moving 15 inches, and its special ability is that it gets advanced disembark. Really, I don't care about these guns as it's a Storm Bolter and 2 auto a twin auto cannon on the side, which is 2 attacks, 4s, 9, and 1, 3 for the profile. It's just alright, and it's so it's just alright. It can chip a moon off a vehicle with lethal, but it's just whatever. But again, it's moving here for 3 inches, and maybe moving it up 3 for advances, and then that delivers and then 3 inches to deliver the payload that is the Kasrkin, all right here. That allows the Kasrkin to maybe focus on one side, kill wherever chaff is here or wherever some elite units here. Turn 1, I'll use grenades. I'll use my Melta Mine. I'll use the rapid fire order for my plasma guns, and that just allows them to do a lot of damage to to 1 unit and then so that's just a nutty movement, and I could stage that in some other places. But the other important thing about this is that now you have to deal with the tank Kasrkin that are going to be right there. You just have to. You're not gonna let all 110 points just with a bunch of guns just stay here. So you're probably gonna pick it up with one of your guys. However, as a combined armor player, I get to revive for 2 CP, and so I'm saving my CP in my turn, unless I use grenades, and then I'm discarding a secondary, and then your turn I'm not using any CP. It's that way I have enough to revive these guys. That means I'm not using smoke, I'm not using 9-point reroll. And then you just have to eventually deal with them, because I'm just probably gonna bring them back in your home because you're oh, I don't have any deep strike. Well, I do have strategic reserves. And turn 3, they're gonna come. They could be your opponent, and you still have to deal with them again, or they'll be somewhere nice, maybe here if you have units here, and they'll shoot you. But that's just 110 points. So really, our list is 2,110 points, and that's really And that's just the main thing with one of these Torats. The other Torats basically just acts as like turn 2, I'm like, or turn 1, I'm just hiding it, and then turn 2, I'm doing the same thing where I'm just rushing up the board, and then like same tactic, except for the revive. Now we can use the CP for something else because they only revive once as a guard player. Well, that's really nice. We basically added we screen out Feather, but we do a lot more damage output because we get into like you can usually hide here if you really like you have small units, or if you like really you can hide here like a really important unit because guard like the 10 inches of movement will not give me line of sight unless I want to risk a tank just dying here in the open. But the Torats fits that problem. That's a redundancy that's gone. We have 2 of them. They're cheaper than Chimera. They have less guns, but you know that movement is what we're paying for. We're not paying for the toughness being 1 lower, or the wounds being 1 lower. We're paying for that 2 inches of movement and that advanced disembark ability. And then the Kazakin just like they basically just serve the role as like this unit's gonna die, but it's gonna take something with you, and then revive and using it. So it's a better trade for me. And so that's what I really like with this list. I think I will probably change these guys back to Cadians, or I might replace them with Catachans for another Scout Sits, and then replace the Chimeras with 2 Heavy Flamers, and then we have 4 Flamers in total, 2 Heavy, 2 not, and then we have Scout Sits, and that becomes a pretty nice combo. But you know, for now, this is the list I'm running. I've so far won 4 games of it, and only lost 1. I've played 5 games, won 4, lost 1. And I've really been having a joy, especially catching people off guard with like the amount of crazy movement that is this. Like you won't expect me to rush a tank and kill it, and so but I will rush this 100% of the time, and then kill something of equal greater value, or damage something of equal greater value, like heavily. But you know, this is definitely better than this list. This list is still pretty alright. This one's 130% better, and it's 90% the Torats.